our discussion about cyber and system security. Yeah. So for today, I will have two agendas actually. The first agenda is about discussion about the cybersecurity basics. Yeah. We will learn about the cybersecurity in the theoretical perspective using the NIST standard. I will later on inform you what is NIST. And secondly, we will discuss about the case-based that we will discuss and use for your assignment. So actually what we want to discuss today, we will discuss a lot about the basic on the cybersecurity, which is the fundamental of the cybersecurity. But before that, it's better to give you some information that the cybersecurity is actually one of the course and maybe some topics that have very tight standard here, and the standard has developed by very trusted organization which is well recognized in the international basis, which is NIST, and most of the company, industries, and national government use the NIST standard for deploying the cybersecurity plan and also cybersecurity management and respond to some of the case, for example. So I think it's good point if you a student know well about the standard and yeah, of course you need to know about what is an NIST. Let me access for you what is an NIST. Yeah, so I think this is the NIST. Yeah, the NIST you can access to the website. Actually, this is the US agencies. Yeah, this is the United States agencies, and then the agencies have a lot of research and development, not only in the cybersecurity but a lot of topics. Yeah, so if we can see in here that there is a lot of topics that they try to to provide, yeah, from the advanced communication, AI, and etc. And the approach on NIST is mostly on the scientific basis actually. So that's why, because the advance of the research and development in several topics, especially in the cybersecurity things, they become one of the major, reference and standard on in the world. Yeah, especially for the cybersecurity, they already have a lot of some of the research development and standard that we can use. Yeah, so in here you can see that they also have the cybersecurity framework, the privacy framework, and then risk management framework, measurement for information security, and other things. Yeah, so I think a lot of topics also in the cybersecurity that we can learn, and also the research project that they now working on. Yeah. So what I want to give advice to you and suggestion is, if you have some plan sorry, to have research and also development on the cybersecurity area, so I think it's better you also access the website and then see what the landscape and also what the direction that they try to give to us about the cybersecurity implementation and etc. So that's the introduction about the NIST. So I think you will have resources and also effort to access this site and then learn by yourself about what they already give to us. Yeah. So I will give you some some topic discussion about the cybersecurity basic that maybe several years ago, I think. Yeah, in 2019, I have a workshop in the cybersecurity and have this this material. So I will share to you about what the concept, and then why it's become the fundamental that we need to to have the knowledge on it to understand about the cybersecurity. So what the nice one of the nice one of the cybersecurity is actually it's very simple in the definition, in the basic concept, but unfortunately for the elaboration and also the development and also the discussion, we discuss a lot of very variative topics here on the cybersecurity. So if we go to truth to the basic, yeah, cybersecurity is the way how we protecting electronic devices and associate data and information. So our focus is about the electronic devices, which is the things around us that have capability to have the electronic function. Yeah, the things is can operate in the electronic way, and now it's also add as not only just electronic but also connected to the internet. Yeah. So that's why some of us sometimes saying the electronic device is like just like Internet of Things. Yeah, and maybe we will also we can call is as cyber physical system devices, for example. Yeah, it's also the electronic device. That's the first our point of view on the cybersecurity. We try to protecting the use of the electronic devices, the function of electronic devices. And but the most important thing is also we not only just care about the functionality, but also we believe that the electronic devices, which is Internet of Things or cyber physical system devices, have capability to gather and also collect the data or transmit the data and also the information. So data and information is also the object that we need to address to protecting from the threats and also protecting from the issues. Yeah. So that is like important point. Yeah. So in here, hopefully you understand that in this case we can see the cybersecurity fundamental itself is also very broad. Yeah, and also very wide landscape and idea. Yeah. So that's the most important. But now the electronic devices and especially data information have the issue that incoming of the rich internet application, yeah, which is email devices, mobile devices, which is in the mobile devices we can found several applications that work on it. And the second is corporate website, yeah, that sometimes have the information system that running on the website, and then the social media is forwarding the rules, yeah, and then the e-commerce system that we now currently use in daily use, the online banking that make us have capability to have the financial function with it within electronic money, yeah, and then the office police, network management, and also backup and remote access. All this complexity make the cybersecurity will be exist in every things that exist in the internet and also in the system. Yeah, so that this will be the consequences. Yeah. So in here we have a question: what exactly the standard of the cybersecurity? What the purpose? What the goals that the cybersecurity in many component in many application is applied? Yeah. So in here you can see that the cybersecurity in the standard have their own objectives here. So we call the CIA objective of the cybersecurity. Yeah, it's already established as a standard on the NIST that cybersecurity the objective are confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Yeah, so this is the direction how the cybersecurity should be execute and implement in our environments. Yeah. So in this case, hopefully you understand that the cybersecurity have their own direction. Yeah. So maybe that will be will be different with from the information system side or maybe in the other side. Yeah. But the most important thing is you need to very clear, and then you need to to hold that the cybersecurity objectives is like the are consists of confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So let's discuss about these three objectives, the main three objectives of the cybersecurity. The first is confidentiality. This is the first layers, yeah, of the objective, yeah. In here, the definition is protecting information from unauthorized access and disclosures. In here, we can see that confidentiality is the way how we keep, yeah, the uh, the, the the data and information that we try to manage is avoiding from the unauthorized access. Yeah, so that will be important for us, yeah, to understand about it, because we not like this way. We not try to stop the access from the user. No, but the most important thing is we want to stop and avoid, yeah, and also protect our information from the access from the unauthorized persons or users. Yeah, so that will be the important things. Yeah, our data and information is accessible, but unfortunately, the access it should be used the authorized functions. Yeah, so that's the main concern of that we want to say in this case. Yeah. So in here we have two focus. The first is the unauthorized access, and then the second is disclosure. This disclosure is like disclosure by design. It's mean we design to open and disclose all the information that it should be confidential. But the other one is the disclosure that based on the accidents. Yeah. So I think you already hear so in 1 or 2 days ago about data breach case from the our one of the COVID-19 application that supported by the Ministry of Health of Republic Indonesia. So I think that will be our discussion later, yeah. But that is like it is from the confidentiality uh, aspect that is already failed, yeah. So that will be our consideration. The second is about the integrity. Yeah, what is the integrity? The integrity is protecting information from unauthorized modification. Our focus is modification. We not allow the change of the data, the change of the information without authorization. Yeah, so that would be important too. So the matter is not about the data and information, but the matter is how we want to interact with the data and information. If the data and information is not low to modify it by someone, yeah, so it's mean we need to protect from that action, yeah. So that's why it's very important. So this is like integrity, yeah. So this is like integrity. We very strong in our principle, and then we doesn't want to change from any factor that unauthorized, yeah, to us, yeah. So that's the integrity. And the third is about the availability. Yeah, this is like preventing disruption in how information is accessed. Yeah. So if the information and data is already accessed and then low to access by the user, the authorized user, we also consider about the protecting the process of the access of the information. We try to avoid that the user, the appropriate user or the authorized user cannot access the data. So that will be disaster. So that's why we're preventing disruption in how information is accessed. So that's mean the availability. So hopefully with these three objectives, we understand that the cybersecurity give the big impact on the business and also in the community, especially to give the assurance to the user that when they access the data, they already authorized. When they modify the data, they also authorize. And then when they do that all, they not disrupt for any illegal disruption. Yeah, so that would be the important point. Yeah, so it's mean it's very secure. The definition of secure will be defined by these three layers. Yeah, confidentiality, availability, and also the integrity things. Yeah. So remember this to all of you, that maybe if you in the futures you go work professionally, especially where you join the in the cyber security team, and also and other things that you will very close work with these three objectives. Yeah. So why the cybersecurity is very important? Yeah, the cybersecurity issue actually is what I call is a small business. I think it doesn't matter. It is very very minor minor things in the whole of the business application. Yeah, so that's why in many company or maybe in many organization we can found that people still think that the cyber security is something that need to add in the end of the processes, not in the first place of the processes. Yeah. But unfortunately, when something happened with the security thing and the security issue, that will be make and the big impact. The big impact can be consist of vulnerability. Yeah. So the vulnerability is like the risk that can be occur when we doesn't consider the cyber security issue in the first place of our implementation or our development. Yeah. So in the vulnerability, attackers can see small businesses as easy target. It means we are vulnerable to have a lot of attacks. Yeah, maybe in the long time or maybe in the short time. Yeah, so that also very important to understand. The vulnerability is like the weakness that appears in front of our enemy. So it means you will you will disclose all your weakness and then make the attackers know about your weakness, and then they will use and exploit your weakness to a target, and then make your system or maybe your business is not work. Yeah. For example, if I hit you, for example, yeah, and then I know your your motorcycle is in the front of your boarding house, for example, I will tip it, and then you cannot go to the campus, for example. So that will be the vulnerability. Why it's happened? Because your motorcycle is you park in the front of your boarding house, but unfortunately you not make some security option on it. Yeah, so that will be the vulnerables. And the next is about the business cost. So maybe I attacked you, but unfortunately my objective is actually is not make your business down, but to make you spend additional huge money to solve the issue problem. So it means you will spend your money to solve that problem, and then your money will be limited to run your business. And in the future, in the long time, that you will have difficulties to run your business. So that will be the matters. It seems like you have a problem in your healthiness here, for example, your health, for example. So it seems maybe you can make some treatment in many specialized doctor, for example, but unfortunately you will spend a lot of money for that. Yeah. And then you will you will have some difficulties to manage your financial in the future. So I think that will be also the objective of the impact of the cybersecurity. You can see if the organization like a campus or maybe company that have this problem, so you can imagine that they will have difficulties about to manage their financial matters in the future. They need to spend a lot of money, for example, today for solving that problem. And the next is about reputation. So this is like we have problem with the security issue. You can spend your money to solve the problem, but unfortunately, you already have the very minus reputation. In here, you will have difficulties to get the trust from your customer, to have the trust from your partner. So that's the matter actually. So the attacker will targeting not your money or maybe your company, but the most important is your good name, yeah, your reputation. that will be disaster. Yeah, so that's why it's very important to understand that the security issue is not only just about technical impact or maybe technical problem that will be occur from the attackers, but also we will have issue on the issue cost issue, and also the reputation issue. So I think that will be a very long term issue that we can solve here. So you can imagine that one, yeah. So based on this slide, I think the importance of the cybersecurity we not debate anymore. So I think we need to understand about it. Yeah. So yeah, this is like you can see that there is some cybersecurity basic resources. Yeah, especially in the fundamental on the several standard. You can check out from the NISTIR number 76 to 21 revision 1 about the standard. I think you can take a look from the NIST website. And this is like the type of the cybersecurity threat that will be occurs today. Yeah, this is the fundamental threats. Yeah, but today I think you already know too that the type of the cybersecurity is also already developed in many variative way and many variative threat. Yeah. So in here we have a phishing attack. Yeah. So I think we will learn later. And then we also have the ransomware. Yeah. We also have the hacking, and then we have a scam. Yeah. And then also the environmental event. Yeah. This is like the type of cybersecurity threat that commonly appears in our environments. So the phishing attack is like the social engineering. It is the involvement of the data and information, exploiting data and information, and then designed to gain access to your system, and also to steal your data. Yeah, this is the phishing attack. Yeah. Yeah, so maybe the phishing will be targeted, yeah, that we call the spear phishing, yeah, and then somehow using the phone that we call the phishing, and then using the SMS or text-based phishing that we call it the smishing, yeah. So it is like they try to do some social engineering to us, yeah, to give the information, and then make some situation that we need to download their application, and then after we download and install the application will be work, and then try to gain access to our system and make our system down or something, and then steal the data. Yeah, so I think that the phishing works. Yeah, and somehow they also make some fake website, and then we need to we insert or input our private data, and then they use the private data to do some something that not good in law. Yeah, so that will be also the phishing. And then the second is about ransomware. This is using the software. Actually, the type of software that the software characteristic is actually malicious intent and a tweak to harm your data. So the software will be try to make our data is broken, inaccessible, or locked, and then we cannot, we cannot access the data until we require a ransom to undo the damage. Yeah. So, but unfortunately, when we have this problem, they will, they will give some information that the author on the ransom producer will say that they can help us, but we need to pay some money to them. Yeah, but unfortunately, no guarantee the ransom payment will work. Yeah, so I think they also do some fake fear in here. Yeah, and then another play is ransom often need to be paid in cryptocurrency. Maybe if you check your spam folder on your email, sometimes you will find you don't know who the person, and then the person will be give the email to you and then say that they already track your log on your internet activity, and they found something that interesting, and then they will exploit that information, but they will delete the information until you pay some money in the cryptocurrency or blockchain's account. So I think that's also how the ransomware works. Yeah, we maybe in 2000, maybe 2015 or 16 or six, yeah, something around it. I think you can find the ransom WannaCry issue. Yeah, this most devastating ransomware attack in history. This is in the very short time affecting several 100,000 machines and crippling the bank, yeah, and also law enforcement agencies and other infrastructures, and make some government panic, and then some government is already pay the ransom also, yeah, to have the to fix the problem. Yeah, so I think that also the ransomware work. Yeah, and then we also have the hacking. Yeah, in here the hacking is, I think, is I call is traditional way. It's the people that doesn't have any authorization try to access our system and information, and they try to do the hacking with with many type of hacking. Yeah, they also do some website attack, yeah, such as DDoS. Yeah, and then access denied to authorized users. Yeah, it's also they try to do. Stolen fund or intellectual property is also they try to do. I think hacking is most fast development cybersecurity issue. Is always in the place, yeah, from beginning until now. Hacking is always become the issue. So yeah, that's the hacking. And then we also use some scam. Yeah, this is someone official call or email to report a crisis situation, and once again they will try to to have money from it from us, that we try to respond the situation, for example. Yeah, so I think also using the scam. Yeah, and we also have the environmental threat. Yeah, this is like came from the natural sources, which is natural threats is like a fire, earthquake, flood, and yeah, physically can cause harm to our computer and disrupt the business access. Yeah, so that's, I think, also happen. Yeah, I think you can see that many company and industries try to avoid the location that have this potential natural threat. Yeah, to place their data center. They were looking for the city and then the facilities that make them safe, yeah, from this type of natural threat. Yeah. So that will be very important to us to see that the environmental threat issue is also one of the major concern on the cybersecurity. Yeah. So based on this one, we now we realize that the cybersecurity have the can be triggered by many things. Yeah, from natural basis until the something that have some some motivation on the financial, on the business, and also in our and in the war, I think. Yeah, so I think it's also happen in there. Yeah, and so that's why in our discussion, after we know about the source of the cybersecurity issue, now we need to understand about why what exactly behind the cybersecurity issue. I think what you need to know is about when we see the cybersecurity, it's not always about the attacks, yeah, or maybe the damage that can be resulted from the attack, yeah. But the most importantly about the risk, yeah. So the risk is like the potential loss, yeah, after we have attacks, yeah. So for example, it doesn't matter you want to use your helmet or not when you want to drive your motorcycle, but the most important thing is do you dare to handle the risk that if you drive your motorcycle without using the helmet, and then what happened if you have a potential trip that we call, maybe for example, you will have crash, yeah. So that would be the risk, yeah. So the most important thing is we need to know about the risk, yeah. So the risk is came from the tweet itself. Yeah. The type of the risk, the tweet, it will be very significantly changing the type of the risk, yeah. And then the vulnerabilities is also same thing. The vulnerabilities is like how strong you are to handle the attack, yeah. How strong you can face the attacks, yeah. So that will be the question. And what is the likelihood of a tweet exploiting vulnerability? This is only resulting the risk only, or maybe another risk that we can see in there. And then what the impact to your business if you have that risk. So what happened with your business? It will be stop, or maybe it's only stop a while, or maybe another things happen, yeah. So you need to know about it. So the frame, or the process that we analyze this risk, we call the risk management, yeah, or risk identification, yeah. So to practice this one and about the risk management, we can start in several steps, yeah. The first step is we need to identify what is your business asset, yeah. The business asset is like what the important component of your business. So I think you understand that from this one. So you need to clearly identify what the main component of your business, especially on the cyber system, yeah. We will discuss later the example, and then you need to identify also, and then to calculate what the value of these assets, yeah. So what the value, and then we try to see and then take a look the impact to your business of loss or damage to the asset, yeah. And then identifying the likelihood of loss and harm, and then do some prioritization for your mitigation activity based on the risk, yeah. So this is like the process how we do that one. So the illustration will be explained, yeah, from it. If, for example, we are in the organization, we need to identify the business asset first, yeah. This can be like the type of information that we have on the business, yeah. What the business processes that we have also, what the importance of the people and technology that your business relies, yeah. So it can be anything. Can be the customer info, it can be banking info, it can be key employee, it can be manufacturing process, and then it can be proprietary technology that we have, yeah. So in here, actually, we try to make a worksheet, yeah, to identify what actually the asset. This is the example, yeah, from the asset, yeah. Maybe in one company, it's not only just have one column, but maybe a lot of columns, yeah. But if we, for example, if we have the asset that we call the asset is like a patient health information, and then we also have the asset, the form of the asset is devices storing patient information, which is laptop, server, mobile devices, yeah. And then we also have some business processes. We call it the processing patient claim to insurance, yeah. And then the money itself, receiving payment from insurance patient, and also the third-party email providers, yeah. So that will be the asset that we identify first. We can add a row as many as you can. It doesn't matter, but the most important thing is you can see what exactly the asset, yeah. And then the next is after we have the asset, we need to assess the value of the asset, yeah. So to assess the value, you need to answer several questions, yeah. So the first question is, what would happen to my business if this asset made public, yeah. So we throw back to the column, what happened if the patient health information is made public, yeah, in accident way or maybe in the design way, yeah. And what will happen to my business if this asset was damaged or inaccurate? That will be also the question. Yeah. So how what he happen if the information about the COVID-19 patient information is not accurate? Yeah. So I think that will be disaster. Yeah. And then what will happen to my business if my customer could not access this asset? Yeah. So if I came to hospital and I still remember that I already registered on the information system, but unfortunately my data is not exist in the system. So I think that will be also disaster. Yeah. So that will be if you can answer this question, you will see what actually the value of the asset. So in here you will add some columns, yeah. So in here you will realize that okay, for the patient health information, I think it's high because it rule by the regulations, yeah. It's due to the regulation, yeah. It's mandatory, should be there in the regulation. For device storing patient, I think it's medium, yeah. Maybe we can still, for example, if my laptop doesn't work, I still can use another devices, yeah, and etc. And also so that's why we can set the medium, yeah, and then we can say the processing patient claim to insurance is very high, yeah, because it's very important for us, especially this process will ensure us to have the receiving payment from the insurance company, yeah. So it's very high, yeah, because of matter of the money. And then the third party email provider, I think, will be medium. So the cybersecurity engineer or consultant, it should be have the capability to divide which one is high, medium, and low, for example. So that's why in here we can use the scale like a Likert scale, yeah? Or maybe from 1 until 5, or maybe 1 to 3, and then the expert will help you to divine which value that applied to your asset. Yeah, so that will be the important things. And the third is we assess the impact to your business if you have lost or damage to your asset. Yeah, yeah. So that will be also the important things. Yeah. So in here you can see that we try to consider the impact to your business if each asset were lost, damaged, or reduced in value. Yeah. So we can see in here we will decide if we have lost or damage to this asset. So what do you think of the level of the risk in here? So that's why if the patient health information is lost, yeah, it will be disaster. So that's why we clear out that we define this one is high, yeah. And then if the device storing patient is also damaged, we cannot access the devices, and then we cannot do something in there. It's also will be high, yeah. And also we will have the processing patient claim to insurance is also we can say that medium, because can institute manual process temporarily, yeah, because maybe from the business process they have you know, some mitigation process that still providing the manual process. And then receiving payment, I think, is high, and the party is would be medium. Again, the cybersecurity expertise need giving the roles on here, playing the role of the classification. Can you imagine if we can build some artificial intelligence to do some classification? I think it will be better, yeah. So I think that will be better, and it's possible to do actually. And then also we need to identify the likelihood of loss or damage to the asset, yeah. So we need to list the threat to each business asset. So what the potential will be happen to the asset, and then we need to evaluate it, yeah. So in here you can see that one, the patient health information, it can be lost or damaged because of the hacker and ransomware activities, yeah. Devices storing patient information will be can be lost or damaged because of thief, malware, and phishing, yeah. Processing patient claim is also denial of service and hackers, for example. Receiving payment could be some DDoS and also hacker. The third party email can be phishing and malware. Yeah. So in here, we will try to assess also what the potential happen if from the threat. Yeah. So in here we can see again one cybersecurity expertise will be give the judgment about this one. It will be classified as okay. If hacker and ransomware, I think that will be medium. Malware phishing still low. Denial of services is still low, and then and etc. Yeah. And the last is try to identify priorities and potential solution. You can compare your impact and likelihood score. Yeah, asset with high impact and likelihood score should be assigned as top priorities. Yeah, we can identify your priorities. We can identify the potential solution, and we use for develop a plan, including funding to the implementation to the solution. This is sample of priority structure. We can modify it if we need it. Yeah. So in here, for example, if we define height, this means we need to implement immediate resolution. We need to have some, solve the problem immediately. Yeah. In medium, we need to do some schedule. Yeah, and resolution. And the low is same. Yeah, schedule resolution too. So we have this metric actually to classify that one. So we compare the impact and the likelihood. If the impact is low and the likelihood is low, it means the prioritization is low. Yeah, it's same with the medium low and also medium medium. But if we have the high on the impact, but also the medium of the likelihood, it will be high priority. So we have this one, the priority. So based on these metrics, we will have this prioritization. So it means the patient health information it should be high prioritized to solve this problem. Yeah. So we need to do and securing this asset first, yeah? And then we go to the medium, and then we go to the low. Yeah. So that will be how it's work. So in here you can see that we can identify the risk management that we can identify from the existing of the cybersecurity issue and also finding on the organization. Yeah, so that's important things. Yeah. So yeah, the NIST cybersecurity framework. Yeah, this is the NIST working on after we have this metric. So the question is how we do the implementation of the cybersecurity. So in here, the NIST came with the framework for improving critical infrastructure cybersecurity. Yeah, so the framework is provide a continuous process for cybersecurity risk management. So the process is not will be stopped only this table. Yeah, but we will generate some iteration process. Yeah, to make the cybersecurity risk management is better and better again in the futures. Yeah. And then for organization of any size in any sector, whatever they have a cyber risk management program already or not. Yeah. So it's very neat to implement to all the organization and has proven useful to variety of audience. Yeah. So this is like the benefit of this cybersecurity frameworks. Yeah. So this is like the frameworks. Yeah. It's very simple. It came from the identify. We need to identify first what should we do on the cybersecurity issue, yeah, and then we do some protect, and then detect, respond, and recover. Of course, it will be some circular processes on the cybersecurity framework function, yeah. The identify processes is develop organization understanding to manage cybersecurity risk to system asset data capabilities. In here, it's very important to give the knowledge and also to invite the stakeholder to understand about the cybersecurity risk metric that they have. Yeah. So that's very important. Yeah. So if you can imagine if the driver or maybe the passenger is not understand about the risk that may be occur from their environment, I think it will be also disaster. So the most important thing is they need to aware first, and then we can develop some program to increase the cybersecurity awareness and also avoiding some, some risk in the future. And identification activities is it's very important because we will face to face and manage the business environment of the organization first, yeah. And then we also will address the asset management things, yeah. And then the governance is one of the important point, and also risk assessment. In here, we can see that the process will be identify critical business process first. Yeah, it's same with the matrix before. We will identify the business asset. Yeah, so in here we will try to identify critical business processes, and then we need to understand about the document information flows. Yeah, it's also very important. Yeah, the flow chart of the information, it will be one of the important process that we need to understand. Yeah, and if we if we not understand about it, it will be very dangerous for us. Yeah, yeah. So that will be one of the important things. Yeah. So I think we should respond immediately, yeah, about it, and then establish policies for cybersecurity that include role and responsibilities. Yeah, this is about we have a role of the play, yeah, that we write down in the document, the formal document, and also it will be accepted by the law and also from the policy side. Yeah, and then maintain hardware and software inventory is very important. Identify contract with external partner, and then identify risk management processes. Yeah, it's also very important. Yeah. So the second is protect. Yeah, this is the how we protect. Yeah, it is we try to develop and implement the appropriate safeguard to ensure delivery services. Yeah, so it means we need to to think and also to develop the processes that secure and ensure the appropriate of the safeguard to delivery all the services, especially the cyber services. Yeah, so it's very important to us to know about it. Yeah. So to protect this one, it's same. I think we need access to asset and information. Yeah, because we need to have the maintenance process. Yeah, and then conduct a regular backup. It's also one of the important things. Protect sensitive data. Yeah, patch operating system and application, and then create response and recovery plan, and protect your network. And also the most important thing is train your employees. Yeah, so that will be protect activities. So hopefully we try to protect our environment with very basic way. Yeah, and then to ensure that there is no breach or maybe there is no disaster that happen accidentally. Yeah, yeah. So it should be like that one. Yeah. And then we also need to detect. Yeah, detect is try to develop and implement the appropriate activities to identify the occurrence of cybersecurity event. So this is like the capabilities to identify and track what happened with our cyber system. Yeah, so we need to do that one. Yeah, the sample is we try to install and update antivirus and other malware detection software, know what are expected data flow for your business, and then maintain and monitor your logs. Yeah. So in here, we try to identify the anomalies and event. Continuous monitoring is one of the important point too. Yeah. And then we do the response. The response is develop and implement the appropriate activities to take action regarding a detected cybersecurity event. If detected, so we already set up the several action to respond immediately. Yeah. So hopefully it's not make us shocked, and then we already set up the several action plan to respond the problem. Yeah. And then we also have the response activities. This is like coordinate with internal and external stakeholder. We try to contact, ensure response plan are tested, yeah, and then ensure response plan are updated. Yeah, so it's also very important. So in the cybersecurity, if we want to minimize the risk, avoiding the threat, so we need to have a plan. If you have plan, at least your cybersecurity will be good. Yeah. But if you doesn't have plan, it means you allow the disaster came to you. Yeah. And the rest is recover. Yeah. The recover is develop and implement the appropriate activities to maintain plans for resilience and to restore any capabilities of services that were impaired due a cybersecurity event. Yeah. So this is like the focus. We try to make some resilience and have the capability to restore services as soon as possible. Yeah. So that's very important. So in here we can see that we need to manage public relation and company reputation using the recovery activities, and then communicate with internal and external stakeholders, yeah, and then ensure recovery plan are updated and consider cyber insurance, yeah. So I think it would be very important for you to know about the recovery activities, yeah. So in here, if we try to combine all the framework, we will have this whole processes, yeah, came from the identify, and then we have a protect, okay, and then detect, respond, and recover. So we will have the cybersecurity frameworks, yeah, management to, especially for risk management. Yeah. So I think that is one the theory that I want to discuss with you. And after this, I will explain about our case. Yeah. So I think you also already update on your ELOC UKMAC idea about the instruction for you to develop the team. Yeah, wait a minute. It is like, yes, this one. Wait a minute. On the top. Wait a minute. Yeah, this one. So actually, this is like very fresh. You know, very very hot issue. Yeah. Yesterday we found some case study that very you know, very important you to know, yeah, about this issue, yeah, especially when you learn about the cybersecurity things, yeah. So we have this one, VPN Mentor. I think you already know about it. It's become news also. Wait a minute. Wow, my cursor is getting low, I think. This one. So what I want to discuss is I want to show you about the case here. So we have a report yesterday that is already happened, the data breach event, yeah, from one of the COVID-19 application in Indonesia, yeah. So it's published by the VPN Mentor. This is one of the international basis cybersecurity organization that try to, you know, watch every action and also activity that involving the data breach and cybersecurity threat. Yeah. So in here you can see that they report that Indonesian government's COVID-19 application accidentally it's been not by design, yeah, it's found by accident, expose over 1 million people in massive data leak. Yeah. So that will be very scary, I think, because it's happened in one of the application that we call as AHEC, yeah? Electronic Health Application something. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Electronic Health Alert Card. Yeah. So it's the application from the Ministry of Health. Yeah. I think if you just came from the port and then go to the international terminal in the other port, I think you have the option, yeah, to fill in the A card based paper-based A card or using the AHEC application. Yeah, so I think that happened with this application. So this is like commonly work on the public health, yeah, data, and then they expose that the size of data that already exposed is 2 GB, and then we have 1.4 million and more data record, and then from this record, it came from 1.3 million people that use the application. So I think this is happened because of the fraud, hacking, and disinformation that also something here. And what the interesting point is the bridge is came from the technology, the Elasticsearch. Yeah, so I think the developer behind the AHEC is using the Elasticsearch as data storage that they develop, and then I don't know, maybe what happened with the Elasticsearch, and so that's why the Elasticsearch it can be disclosed into the internet. Yeah. So the chronology of the accident is like this one. Yeah, I think this is also the example for you to learn about the incident on the cybersecurity, and then try to understand the context of the tweet, and then you can learn a lot about it by access and then learn about it. So you can see in here that the AHEC is actually is good application because it will track our journey from the Indonesian and also foreigners that using the you can see the travel plan and also the travel information about the people on there. But during the pandemic, the AHEC is already be the platform to update the health status that consists of the personally identifiable information, contact detail, COVID-19 test result, and other things. Yeah. So this is the the chronological that they report that database already discovered in 15 July. Yeah, I think it's 1 month more, 1+ month ago. Yeah, and then I think the VPN Mentor is good site. Sorry, it's because they not exploit directly, but they try to contact the Ministry of Health to report the accident, and then they also use they report the accident to Indonesian cyber emergency response team that is also have the responsibility about this accident, and then they also go to the BSSN and so on, and then they also try to disclose this issue to Google as hosting providers, yeah, and then they also have the second contact attempt with the Ministry of Health, yeah, but unfortunately there is no response again, and then it already responded by BSSN, yeah. So I think that also the good information. That's how the security analytics works, yeah. We try to communicate, and then we try to not to exploit what we found, but we try to resolve what we found. And this is categorized as data breach and data leaks, yeah, because actually the type of data breach is actually will be very easy and can quickly resolve that. But unfortunately, the response of the emergency team should be fast. If not, the other parties will have the potential or opportunity to exploit the data and then use the data for many things. Yeah. So as our discussion in scientific way today is we try to analyze what actually happened in years, and then what the potential happened in years. Yeah. So let's go discuss what type of data that exposed by this accidents. Yeah. Yeah. You can see in here in the Elasticsearch that they report is they have a lot of 1.4 million report. Yeah. From the 1.3 million AHEC users. Yeah. I think this is not. I agree with this one. This record didn't not just expose the user, yeah, but also entire infrastructure around this application will be also disclosed here. At least we will have the COVID-19 test data which is came from the passenger ID and type, and hospital ID, queue number while doing this test, reference number, address and time for home visit, test type, test result, and data issue, and EHEC document ID. Yeah, so that you can see in here. This is the list of the data. Yeah, and then the EHEC account data, they also have the passenger name, URN ID number, and then much more. Yeah, so I think it's also same things. And then we also have the individual hospital number, which is the hospital detail, name of responsible person, name of passengers, and then hospital capacity, load test, information about how many tests, and which type of the passenger are low in this hospital. Yeah, so you can see there is a lot of data that they can disclose. Yeah, and then they also the passenger PI data. Yeah, this is like the passenger detail, passenger national Indonesian ID number, passport and profile photo, and then PI data for passenger parent, passenger hotel, additional passenger photo, and other things. Yeah, so you can see in here that it's all the thing is is already exposed, and from EHEC staff is also have also some information from the ID number, name, account username, email address, and also the creation of the data for the users. So I think from this data breach, I think like the framework that we discussed previously, we need to identify what impact of the data breach impact on it. Yeah. So in here that this is exposed the the incapability of the developer, and also the system the operator or the engineer behind the system that not very very carefully to take a look about this issue. But what we can see that for user, we will have some impact there. So the massive amount of data collected and exposed for each individual using EHEC left them incredibly vulnerable to wide range of attack and scams. It's not only about EHEC itself, but how if the attackers, the party that use the data, will use for another attacks, like use for scams, for example, because they can access our information, the passport information and other etc. So I think it will be make some issue, and the big issue. Yeah, because if we think again, the additional personal data, it can be used to steal their identity or access private account. Yeah, especially tech record and bank account, and then make some payment with their credit card on fake website and portal, which the hacker set up to scrap their credit card detail, click a link embedded with virus like ransom, spyware, and other things. Yeah. So I think, of course, the data on the COVID-19 test, it can be used for another another issue. Yeah. So I think that will be make us very fragile on the attack. Yeah. But for the Ministry of Health and also the application itself, I think we will have hacking and viral attacks. Yeah. So I think I cannot imagine that if the database, the database is already exposed. So I think the hacker is not only just get the access to the databases, but also databases is something like very deep on the infrastructure. So it means the hacker is already in very low level on the infrastructure. So it means they have potentially already have the access to other infrastructure component. So to that, I think that will be very critical. Yeah. So what happens if they already go to another databases that set by set on the Elasticsearch, for example, and etc. And then, of course, the distrust will be happen here if we think so. I think when I see the news last night, for example, in Kompas TV, if not wrong, the Ministry of Health suggests the citizen to uninstall the AHEC application. So that will be, you can see, we will distrust with the application later on, yeah. And for hospital, because the data of hospital is also exposed, I think they now become one of the target of the attacks, yeah. So I think the individual hospital staff, the individual hospital data will be the target for various phishing, fraud, and viral attacks, yeah. So I think that will be some of the case, yeah. So the general advice to solve this problem is, yeah, of course, securing its server, yeah. We must go to the infrastructure side because database is already accessed by another people. So it's mean we need to clean up all the access to the infrastructure, yeah. And then implementing the proper access rule is very important. And never leaving a system that doesn't require authentication open to the internet, yeah. So any company can replicate the same step, no matter its size, yeah. So I think that will be very good enough. Even not very detailed, but I think this is a common advice and also good advice to make us aware and then prepare the worst thing, yeah. So what my assignment for you, yeah. So for you, actually, I would like, based on this issue or this case study, yes, this case study, it will be your mid-sem also, yeah. So I told that the plan is you will prepare your submission to your mid-sem is start by today, yeah. So it will be, actually, the submission will be like, some of the individual assignment, actually, yeah, in the mid-sem. But to go there, I would like to make some processes. Yeah, the first processes is like gathering the idea and also gathering the issue. So it will be what you should to do. Yeah, we still have about maybe later on about 1 hours until 4 o'clock. I will let you to do with your friend. But what important thing is, I would like you to create a group with your friend. Yeah, consists of 3%. Yeah, consists of 3%. So maximum is 4 or 5 is okay. But I suggest you 3%, and then discuss with your group about the issue that I already explained to you, and then you can access the link from the LF2. And then I would like to go further to the literature first, yeah. Try with your friend, collect the current state of the cybersecurity issue that related with the issue from the current reference on the paper or journal. You can go to the Scopus IEEE and then try to search the issue on the data breach issue that already discussed in the research paper. And then based on that, discuss with your friend about what your idea if to avoid and then to solve this problem, to handle this problem in the future. Our suggestion is we have some recommendation how to avoid the situation happen. And in the meantime, I would like you to create a draft paper to explain your idea and then make some, a little experience about it. And then make presentation and present for the next week. So your duty with your group is actually make a presentation and present the early idea about this issue, and then you can discuss with your friend, and then you make some draft of your presentation. And next week, I would like to give you the opportunity to present your idea first, and then we will discuss more deeply next week, and then give you some suggestion, and then it will be used for the next step to enhance your idea, and then your idea will be write down in the paper for your mid-sem submission. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so next week we will do some presentation, and also I will add some material to enhance your capability to analyze the case. Yeah. Okay. Any question about it? So it's clear about the case study. Any question, please? If you have any question. No, okay. Okay, if there is no question, I think for today I will give to you the rest of the time to create your group uh, and then starting the discussion with your friend, and then you can collect and then learn from the current paper and journal that discuss about the data breach analysis or data breach handling, and then use the paper for developing your idea. It can implement the same methodologies, or maybe you can some propose a new methodologies to avoid this one. I think the issue of data breach is not only just for a hack application, yeah, but I think a lot of applications that can be potentially attacked by this activity. Yeah. So I think the case study will be very variative, and then will be very have implementation in many industries. Yeah. Okay. I think that's it for today. Thank you very much for your time, and see you next week, or maybe see you for in the next course at 4, yeah, in computer science philosophy. Okay, thank you very much for your time. I close this session, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.